Hi folks, it's Mike Murphy. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the exact process that I used to create a digital product from the idea stage all the way to the shipping stage. So the part where I actually upload the product and put it for sale on a platform such as GumRoad. And this is the last video in the Wiggly Panel project where I built a custom panel for Adobe After Effects using Cursor AI, which is a smart code editor. And I'll leave a link in the description to the playlist of this entire project. This video is for you, and for me, and for any content creator who struggles making digital products, making things for sale in your creative business. Trust me, I know. I've been struggling for about 10 years now, making content consistently, day after day after day. I make tons of free tutorials and content, but I struggle making digital products, the things that I actually need to make in order to keep doing what I love to do. If I told you the number of courses that I've started to make over the years, but just never finished, and many of these courses were nearly finished, just never finished, moved on to something else. And the number of digital products that I set out to make, an embarrassing high number. This video found you for a reason, and that reason is to tell you to stop beating yourself up over all of those half-made ideas or all those things that you wanted to make, started to make, should have made, but just didn't. And instead, this video is here to give you permission and encouragement to just start building something today. Doesn't matter what it is. Just go through the process from idea all the way through to actually uploading and putting that product for sale. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how I did that with the Wiggly Squiggly Panel for After Effects. Here is the groundbreaking digital product, which is probably going to break all types of sales records on GumRoad. It is the Wiggly Squiggly Panel for After Effects. It is a dockable panel, meaning you can dock or undock it, move it anywhere you want, or dock it anywhere on your After Effects interface to make things wiggle. First, I'll select the logo layer. I'll tap R for the rotation property and select the rotation property. Then go to the Wiggly Squiggly panel. You can change the values for the frequency and the amplitude of the wiggle expression by clicking and entering the value or using the sliders to adjust. Then as long as you have a property selected, you just click the wiggle button. Easy as that. We just added the wiggle expression. And if I tap EE to reveal all expressions, you'll see it just added the value of 5 and 20, which is what we had here. If we change the amount, let's say I put in 10, make sure you select the property, click the wiggle button again, you see it updates to 5 and 10. Pretty cool, huh? So that's how to make things wiggle. And if you want to make things squiggle with the logo layer selected, this time I'll click on turbulent displace, and now we've got the start of some squiggles. And once you add an effect, you just go to the effect controls like you normally would to make any customizations to that effect, or if you want to get rid of it, you just select it and tap the delete key. So the top of the panel is the wiggle expression, and below that are 10 of my go-to effects that I use all the time to create hand-drawn stop-motion-y feel animations. This is a shortcut panel. It's meant to speed up workflow and just make things more convenient. Rather than having to go up to the effect menu every time or over to the effect controls panel, all I have to do, select a layer, want to add CC vignette, no problem. Click, now I've got vignette on that layer. This is not a sales pitch for the Wiggly Squiggly panel. Yes, it is pretty cool that I can just select a layer and add roughen edges just like that, but I'm sharing this in case you struggle with what should I even make? Well, start with something that you would actually want to use for yourself. I mean, I wanted to have a panel in After Effects with shortcuts to all of my favorite effects to save me time from having to go over to the Effects and Presets panel every time. So I learned how to make a panel for After Effects. The digital product that you are about to make starts with an idea. Any idea, just pick something that you've been thinking about. Then you're going to do a little planning, really just learning, exploring. I knew I wanted to make a panel for After Effects. I had no idea how. But I have been learning artificial intelligence and really exploring a lot of the AI tools, the no-code vibe coding tools. I asked Cursor, can you build this? Cursor said, no problem. The next step is the most important step in the entire process. Are you ready? So instead of staying in the planning stage, in the learning stage, where you just watch tutorial after tutorial after tutorial, the key to it all is to start building. Just jump in and start making. Start using the tool. Start doing the thing that is going to get you closer to the finished digital product. It does not matter if you don't know what you're doing when you're starting. If you start building, that is where the momentum starts. It's going to give you more likelihood of actually getting the product out the door. And if you really want to get better at something, I can tell you, at least for me, the way that I improve on nearly everything I do is by teaching. That is why I make tutorials, is because I'm such a curious learner. I want to learn how to do everything related to tech, creativity, so I teach. That is how I learn. So when I started this Cursor project, I started teaching Cursor because I wanted to learn how to use Cursor better. And what better way than to make a tool for one of my favorite programs, which is After Effects, which also started by me teaching how to use After Effects when I was first learning how to use After Effects. When I got to this stage of the build, and for you, it's going to be that moment where you say, this is actually not too bad. I'd be happy if I had this right now. Stop then. You are always going to find more things that you can add. You're always going to find things that weren't perfect. Stop. Go on to the next phase. That is testing. And this is not something that you have to go elaborate with a fine-tooth comb. You're not looking for every single mistake. You're simply testing to make sure it's good enough. Is it doing the basics of what it is that you set out to do? I set out to make a wiggle panel. So my main test was when I clicked on the wiggle button, did it add the wiggle expression? Once I confirmed it did, I moved on to testing. So I went through, clicked every button. 2 of the buttons caused me issues, grain, and turbulent noise. Cursor tried a whole bunch of troubleshooting, rewrote code, couldn't get it to work. I brought it to ChatGPT. ChatGPT tried a bunch of things. Then they both determined that there is an issue with grain and turbulent noise when it comes to the ScriptUI panels. So guess what the solution was? I just removed them. It's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. So then I just ended up with 10 buttons instead of 12. No problem. Done is better than perfect. So once I convinced myself to ignore all of the minor imperfections that I really wanted to fix, I moved on to the next step, and that is documenting. So this is preparing all of the supporting documents that goes with your digital products, PDFs, cheat sheets, resources, ReadMe files, how to use the product, what it is. And what documenting is today is typing in a text prompt and telling ChatGPT to please prepare all the documentation that I need. And then, like magic, in about 30 seconds, ChatGPT is going to give you basically every single document you need for your digital product. So no more excuses. Also part of the documenting, I took some screenshots. This is just a preview of the panel itself. Then I took a screenshot of where to put the JSX file that they're going to download in order to install it. And then once you open After Effects, how do you open the panel? Basic stuff. Then I put everything that I was going to include with the digital product in a folder, and I compressed it. So whenever somebody downloads it, they're going to download a zip file, which they just double click to open. In that file has a PDF. These are the prompts that I used to build. It has a README file. So this is basically going to walk them through what the project is about, what it includes, how to install it. So the directions are all here in the README file. Then I have screenshots. This is the cover. These are the screenshots that you just saw. There's the JSX file. That's the actual product right there. And you just zip that up, and Bob's your uncle. Then I went to GumRoad.com. If you're not familiar with GumRoad, they make it incredibly easy you can sell so many different types of digital products. It's totally free. You only pay transaction fees when you sell stuff. Once you sign into GumRoad, they make it incredibly easy to add products. It's like adding a blog post. You put a title, you put a description, upload some artwork, thumbnail, and a really important part, pricing. Charge for what you make, even if it's as low as $5. My tendency is to give everything away. I want to put 0 here. I put 5 for the sake of this tutorial, to encourage you and myself to start charging for the work that you're doing. The last and probably the most important step, really, you go to the top right and you click publish so you can actually publish your digital product and let the world buy it. This product is live. Someone can just click, I want this, enter in the credit card information, and I just made $5. Maybe I'll make 10. Maybe 100 people will buy it. You never know until you actually try. The purpose of this video, start. No matter what you didn't do in the past, no matter how mad you are at yourself for all the courses and the products that you didn't make, it's okay. Tomorrow is a new day. And tomorrow is the day that you finally start building digital products. Everything can change in an instant, but you have to start. I hope you got something out of today's video. If it did motivate you to actually build a digital product, I would absolutely love to hear from you. I would also absolutely love for you to subscribe to my newsletter, AI Unplugged. So today, that was my process of building the Wiggly Squiggly Panel from an idea all the way to shipping and putting the panel for sale. My name is Mike Murphy. Cheers.